Hello, hello. Check. I think everyone has joined. Only few members left to join. Just to wait for the 1 minute more. We'll continue session in 1 minute. Yes, guys, everyone has joined. I think. Okay. It's very good morning, everyone. In yesterday's session, we have only 20 minutes. So I have in 20 minutes. So I have making the fast move. So today's session, we can you explain more things. I have a sufficient of time. Okay, just quickly I will start my presentation. Okay, everyone has joined. Yes, in today's session we will see about the SpaceX missions. What is the SpaceX and what is the main aim to send the rockets to Mars? And for this is a travel from the blue planet to the red planet. Here the blue planet in the sense it's our Earth, and the red planet in the sense it's a Mars. So it's called as a travel from the blue planet to the red planet. Here the Elon Musk is the founder and the CEO of the SpaceX, want to make a future home for the humans and planning to send the rockets to Mars. And Elon Musk is planning to send the two cargo ships in 2022 and in four cargo ships in 2024. So first, if first in front of that, we going to the know about the mission of Mars. We'll have to know about the how the Mars gases will be, and when compared with the Earth, how the Mars lands will be. And here you can see the argon and nitrogen is of 1.9% on Mars, and it is of there is a nitrogen is of 78.1% in the Earth, where you can find the oxygen levels of 20.9. And here you can there is a no percent of oxygen, only very few is of in other gases we can find the oxygen over here. So this is the 78% of it's having of nitrogen, and it's having only the 2% of nitrogen in the Mars, and 96% of carbon dioxide is here, and there is a carbon dioxide present on the Earth in the other gases only. And now we'll see about the Mars plantation and how the Mars plantation is going to build by the Elon Musk. And before going to the Mars plantation, we have seen the first. This is who is the CEO of SpaceX was Elon Musk, which is he is going to send the rockets to Mars. Here we can see how the future Mars plantation is going to build with the rockets, space shuttles, and it's going to fully cover with the oxygen inside the Mars plantation, because we cannot find the oxygen on there. If we'll move to the next slide, here we can see this is what the Elon Musk is going to build these two cargo ships in 2022, is going to launch on 2022 to the Mars, and this is the 2024 plan, which is targeted by the Elon Musk to send to Mars, and which is carrying of the two cargo ships with only the equipment which is going to build on Mars. And this is how the two cargo missions, which is carrying the two, is the two are carrying the people, where we can see the windows over here. This is how the two ships are carrying the people in it, and the two ships are with the mining equipment. And this is how the biggest rocket ever made. This is building by the Elon Musk in the SpaceX. This is called the BFR rocket, which is known as a big Falcon rocket, which is ever made in this world. This is the first ever biggest rocket which is going to send to Mars. And this, now we will see how the Mars ships are launching to Mars and how they are getting to the Earth. Here, see the Mars transportation architecture on your screens. This is where from the Earth, and this is where from the Mars landing, and this is how the returning. Here we are having one rifle from where it is called as a launch site, and here this is called as a rifle, which is carrying to the space. This is a returning rifle to the Earth, which is only carries from earth to space and space to Earth. And here you can see that the rifle is launched to the space, and which is held by the International Space Station for the few hours. And with the another rifle, and the another rifle has loaded with fully of the fuel. Then it is launched to the space and to the International Space Station, and then the both rockets for the first one and the second one, then they are both combined, and they are sent it to the Mars, because we can't carry the on only the with the one rifle with the fuel. There it requires a very much fuel to carry to Mars. So this is the under rifle is fully filled with the fuel of rocket, and they are sending to the Mars. And here you can see this with the rifle is landing to Mars. And here one more problem is we can carry the fuel only to the Mars, but we cannot carry the fuel from Mars to Earth. This is how the biggest question they have found. Okay, then there is answer for this. This is how, means where there is a in the on Mars there is a fuel which is content of the CO2, and but for coming to the rocket fuel, this was the liquid oxygen and the liquid nitrogen, where the oxidizer where burns the fuel in every rocket. And now they are changing the rocket fuel modifications, and their Mars is having of the heavy content of nitrogen. So they are with the soil of the Mars, they are finding the fuel with the mining equipment they are carrying within the rockets. So with that mining equipment, they are going to fill the rockets with the fuel, and the astronauts and the spaceships are returning from Mars to Earth. With that, they have found the fuel there, the H2O and CO2, which is converted into by the ISRU in CH4 and O2, and they are returning the astronauts to the Earth. And now this is how the future in 2050 it's going to be. This was estimated by the Elon Musk plans, which is going to happen in 2050. This is how the Mars project we are having, and we have seen the biggest rockets. It is of the rifle. This is how we can see the rifle. It is a lower, which is here we can, the rocket. It can carry up to 1,032 people in a single rifle ship. Here it is having the four cabins, which is can carry of 930 people, and the lower cabin it is can carry up to 72 people. So finally it can carry average of 1,030 people in a single rifle ship. Okay, this is how the SpaceX is going to build on the Mars that we have watched. And now we will see, this is how is the, as we know, the humans cannot survive in the space with, not only the humans, the animals and cannot survive in space without any oxygen and without any the space suit. But the bacteria which is having, the bacteria which from the earth is it is going to live in space. This is a tardigrades. It's a bacteria which lives in the icy surfaces and water, where this is founded in 2024. Sorry, it is founded in 2004. This is the tardigrades. It's the animal in the space there we can see it only by the electron microscope, where it was without any oxygen, and it can hold up to the radiations, very high radiations, and it's a radiation free animal, also with radiation free kind of bacteria, where we cannot see with our naked eye. We can see this is by our microscopes only. This is the tardigrades. It's also called as a water bear, and this has sent to space in 2004, and it has survived nearly 10 hours without any food or without any water in the space, and without any oxygen too. So there is a hope to live in the space. There is some bacteria kind thing, so we can hope there is a living species in space without any oxygen or anything. And we will see some visuals of the discussed topics of SpaceX and this tardigrades here. And this is how the colonization of Mars we have discussed. And this is how the future rockets are building by the SpaceX to get the humans to Mars. We're finding of the next home for the humans to get into the Mars. And this is how the Plantation is going to build by the Elon Musk. This they have planned to build on Mars. This is how the first SpaceX plans to send two cargo ships to Mars in 2022, and the returning rockets has also have been tested, and it was very successfully landed on the Earth from the space. And this is how the Elon Musk is targeted the two cargo ships he wants to send in 2022, and also 2024 he wants to send the four cargo ships, which is carrying of two with the people and which is carrying the two with the mining equipment to find the rocket fuel over there and get from the Mars to Moon. And one more thing, they are going to plant the plants there because of as we know that the CO2 content is heavier in the Mars, so the plants can survive with the CO2, and which gives out the oxygen. So they are going to make the plants over there, so which can provide us oxygen to live on Mars. So after the 50 years, it's going to be having of oxygen levels because of content of the gases over there, where we have tested from our Mars rover. So after 50 years, it will be the oxygen on the Mars. So up to that, we have to stay with a closed surface which is having oxygen over on the Mars. So in 2024, that's why they have sending the mining equipment and also which is made in with the SpaceX in the Earth, and they are carrying that to Mars. And as it has been fluctuated over there, and with the fully closed room, and keep the oxygen levels with the content which has to be for the humans. This is how the mining equipment which is going to build on Mars, and the finding of for the plants. And here is what we have previously discussed. First the shuttle is given to the connected with the International Space Station. Then the another one is launched with which is carrying the full fuel and they are attached in the space, and then it will be start traveling to the Mars. And you can see the surface of a Mars which is having with only the like a desert. And the one more thing that has to uh, keep the astronauts in mind. So there is no plane surfaces over the Mars, and they have to find some plane where the rocket can land, it seems. And this was a highly risky thing that the astronauts has to do, where it is the thing where the our missions are being failed on the landings. And this is how the mining equipment is built to get the fuel of a rocket with the soil content of the CO2. And also the BFR stands for the Big Falcon Rocket, which is already tested by the Elon Musk on the SpaceX. So it is ready. The BFR rocket was ready to launch, and this equipment has to be built in 2022. A sure thing, the Elon Musk is going to launch the rocket to Mars. And with the fueling of the fuel, with the shuttle is launched to the Earth from the Mars. And this BFR rocket was not built with as a daily rocket. It is having of the very 6 boosters, and which is a oxidizer is in the middle to burn the fuel, and which is very different from the other rockets which is ever built on this world. For of any country was not has built. Only the SpaceX was the first rocket which ever built the newly modified technologies, and has a having of very huge body of BFR rocket. And these systems are totally controlled by the AI only from the Earth. because for the first time there in 2022 there are no people are going to Mars, so it is controlled by the AI only from the Earth, where we can, if the success that he's going to send in 2024 the people over there. This is the equipment to be placed on Mars, and getting the rocket fuel to return the crew landed to the Earth. And the power source is of the sun only. The sun was a power source, means by using the solar panels only they are charging the equipment. And there, and the Mars, there is a very tremendous, uh, means like there is a high gaseous and high atmosphere conditions are not good as Earth, so they has to build the equipment which is which can hold with the heavy atmospheres from the Mars. And this is how the inside of the plantation of Mars, and this is how the plants are being placed to get the oxygen from that. And these are the Mars rovers which is attached with the equipment which can survive the humans on the Mars. This is how the launch pad of the big Falcon rocket, where we have already discussed, which can carry 1,032 people in a single trip. It is liftoff of 127.800 kn, which is carrying on the rocket. So we have already discussed that there one ship was already being the stage separation. It will hold the rifle on the space, and the whole where the lander is landing and return back from the space to Earth, where it is going to carry the another ship to Mars, which is fully fueled with the fuel to carry the space, and again it's returning to the Earth. This is how the lander will return to the Earth, and which is the rocket and the another shuttle is fully filled with the fuel, and it will carry that to space. This is how the crew lander is carrying the another shuttle to Mars, and they both get started the journey to Mars. then they will both will combine with the fuel and they will get started the journey to Mars. And the BFR rocket also works with the BFR rocket also works with the solar panels, where the rifle has ended its end, then it will start with our solar energy, which is going to land on Mars, and the rifle will return to the Earth, and it will carry for the where it was returning. It will be attached to the BFR rocket, which is coming from Mars. And now we'll see about the tardigrades. This is how the tardigrades will be, and this was the first species from the Earth which has survived in space. There, which has tested from the NASA lab, biolab, which is having a very good thin sticky skin, and which can survive with the heavy radiation too in the space. And the space is filled with the heavy radiation, not like in our Earth. It will be having of more radiation, so it was survived in the space for with the radiation for 10 hours. After the 10 hours it has been killed, and it means that there is a possibility to leave the space. There is some kind of bacteria in which species which lives in space, so it was proved by the tardigrades. Normally these tardigrades live in the Earth, in a water only. In the oceans mostly we found the tardigrades there. And in 2007 the researchers has sent the tardigrades to the space, where they have found it for 10 hours for the full day they have lived on the space. Okay, then we will move with the next topic. Yes, here now we will discuss about the red drafts and white drafts. Okay, now here discuss about the red drafts and white drafts. And this is how the white corona invisible, which where the our Dr. Salva Kumaran sir was discussed previous day. This is how the white corona visible for the sun, and same as like for the white drafts. In the red draft there is a white corona invisible, and this is how the red exclusively red glow of a white red drafts and the fade. These are the white red drafts, and these are the red draft will be. And red draft is white drafts are also called as red giants and white giants. Our sun is called as a red giant. And this is how the life cycle of a star. Now first, instead of learning about the radiation, first we have to learn about the life cycle of a star. What is the life cycle of a star? As we have discussed it from the Big Bang, this is how the Big Bang was formed, where they have the burn of the stars and massive stars, black holes, etc., from the stellar nebula, where from the average star, where we have previously discussed about the massive star, how the massive star and will be forming into a black hole. Here is the massive star, and this is a super red giant will be formed. And with the massive star, if they're in the massive star, it's when it was blasted, it will be formed into a supernova explosion. From the supernova explosion blast, it will be formed into a black hole or into a neutron star. If it loses its total nuclear reaction is stopped, it is blasted. That was previously we have discussed. So from either it will be according to its mass and pressure inside it, it will be formed into a black hole or a neutron star. And means again it will be forming into a star, means a small, like a small star, neutron star. And a neutron star in the sense it's our sun. And this is how the black holes will form, that we have discussed. And this is how the red drafts and white drafts will come. This is how the average star, the average star in the sense we can assume as our sun. This is how from the average star, this is how the red giant will form. After the planetary nebula, means the red giant will releases all its, after completing of its helium in the star, the red giant will form. And the red giant will releases its gas outer layers to the space. By this formation of nebula, it will be releases outer layers to the space. Then the core layer will be with the full of pressure. This is called as a white draft, means the core layer is full of icy, and also at the same time it is very pressury to have the surface. This is called as a white draft. And we will discuss the few deeper layers of a white draft now, white drafts and red drafts. So coming to the, now we will have an assumption that's how the red drafts and white drafts will, where the red drafts and white drafts will come from. And now we'll move forward with the white drafts. And here you can see there's the white drafts and how the white drafts are formed. And 95% of our stars in our universe are white drafts only. And these white drafts are formed with the remove from the red drafts, where the outer layers it was released. Then the core layer, which is having a very cool and pressury surface, this is called as a white drafts. Means the core layer of the inside where the red drafts is called as a white drafts, which is having the magnetic field. Even after blast supernova explosion also, it's having of its own magnetic fields, and it's a fully icy surface. But the weight of these white drafts is much than the red drafts. Means, for example, if we have in the teaspoon weight, if we have in the teaspoon weight of a white drafts is taken as a mass, we can assume in our earth, it's like a teaspoon weight of a mass of the white drafts is of as a weight in our, as a weight of a car. You can expect like how that much of mass is having on the white drafts. And this is how the white drafts will be, means the outer layers of the star is exposure into the space, and there's the core layer of the star. This is called as a white dwarfs, and this is how the white dwarfs are formed. And now we'll get into the red dwarfs. Now we discussed about these white dwarfs at the end of the stage, and now we'll discuss about these red giants, are also called as the red dwarfs. And this is how the red dwarfs will be, and it usually looks like a sun, but it will have more brighter than our suns and than our stars also. Here we go. This is how 70% of the stars in our galaxy are red dwarfs, and 20 to 30% of the stars is going to be red dwarfs and very closer to us. And here we can see that the red dwarfs burn slowly than our stars. Means it will, for example, if we take our sun, it will be burning continuously. Means if we take the red dwarfs, it will be of 5 times slower. It will be burned than our Earth. Means it will be burning of 5 times slower than our Earth. And most of our planets in our galaxy are there many of the red dwarfs that we have founded, and all the red dwarfs are babies, not, excuse me, someone is being admitted. Okay, sorry for inconvenience. Yes, here we are on the red dwarfs. At least the 70% of stars are red dwarfs we have previously discussed. And there, if I assume the hundredth stage of the if I have gotten the 100% of our universe, assume our universe age is 100%, and now we are on the 30th stage, and all these red dwarfs are the still babies. Means the red dwarf's lifespan is more than our sun. That means 5 times more than our sun it will be. So it is called now most of the red dwarfs where we have found are still babies only here. So they have the stars like red dwarfs, we can expect the more lifespan over there, because they are having very much huge lifespan than, means like a 5 times more lifespan than our star, that is sun. In our Milky Way, it's having on the 5% of red dwarfs are having. And now we'll see about the combination of two black holes. This is how the black holes topic we have discussed yesterday, and now we'll see why we are discussing of the combination of two black holes. Means by the end of this you will be understanding. And as we have decided yesterday about the black holes with one smaller and one massive black hole, or a medium black hole, will forms combine each other and forms a massive black hole. Means we are highlighting the combination of black holes. Means when the small black hole is combined and it is formed into a huge black holes, means the stars small massive black holes and the huge massive black holes will combine and form a supermassive black holes. There you can see why we are discussing about the combination of black holes. Means in the future ejections, and previously the scientists have discovered there is a sound came from the space, which is recorded by our in the International Space Station. They have founded the graphs over there, and the scientist has assumed that it was a sound came from the combination of two black holes. This is of the Hanford. This is how the radiation sound will came, and it was discovered the two black holes are combined, and it is like it is sounds like a two bar magnets are attached. Then it is sound like that. And this results has been taken and tested in our NASA, where it was found where this is a combination of a two black holes and formed into a huge massive black hole. And now we will see some visuals of this combination of black hole and the white dwarfs, red dwarfs. Okay, then we'll continue